Naplan Year 9 Practice Math Problem. A design is made using twice as many large beads as small beads. The mass of each large bead is 120 milligrams. The mass of each small bead is 80 milligrams. The total mass of all the beads used is 32 grams. How many beads in total to make the design? So this is a fairly complex problem, and we will try and split this problem in three parts. So the first part of the problem tells us about the relationship between the small beads and the large beads. So the relationship that we have been given is small and large beads. So they're saying that if we had one small bead used in the design, twice as many large beads are being used. So if we use one small bead, we will have to use two large beads as part of the design. So the design would then need three beads. If we used two small beads, we would need four large beads. So the design would actually be comprised of 6 beads in total. If we used 3 small beads, we will need 6 large beads, and the design would be made up of a total of 9 beads, and so on. So this is the first part of the question. The second part of the question is the conversion between milligrams and grams, because we have two different sets of weightages given to us. So if you were to convert milligrams to gram, I need to spell it correctly. We will need to divide the value by 1000, the milligram value by 1000. So in this case, we have been given two separate milligram values. So we have 120 mg, which is the mass of the large beads. So this will become 0.12 grams for large. And we've also been given 80 milligrams for small beads. This will then become 0.08 grams for small beads. So now we have two weights available for the large and the small beads. And now we also know the third part of the equation, which is the big solving section for us, which is the main relationship that the total design is comprised of lots of large and lots of small beads, and the large and the small beads are also having different weights. Okay, so now if we were to make the assumption that the total weight of the design would be comprised of the total weight of the large beads plus the total weight of the small beads. This would justify what they're trying to say in the last part of the question. How many beads are used in total to make the design? Because when you make a design, whether it's a necklace comprising of all the beads, the necklace would then have a certain weight. So we need to factor in the weight as part of our equation. So in this case, all we have to do is replace our values. We know the weight, we know the relationship between the small beads and the large beads. So if we come back to our first part of the problem, which is this part, we can deduce that the large beads that we need to use will be 2 times. So if you made the assumption that, let's say, small beads is equal to x beads, value x, then the large beads to be used in the design would be 2 times x. So all we have to do is then just come back here and replace it in our equation. So the total weight of the design we have is 32 grams, and multiply this by the total weight of the large beads, which is 0.12 grams, into the relationship is 2x for large beads, plus we have the weight of the small beads, which is 0.08 grams. Multiply this by the value that we need to require for total number of beads for small, which is x. And then we simply solve this equation, so we get 32 is equal to 0.12 multiplied by 2x plus 0.08 multiplied by x. So it becomes 32 is equal to 0.24x plus 0.08x, or 0.32x is equal to 32. Now we just need to flip the multiplication on the other side, so it becomes division. So we have x is equal to 32 divided by 0.32. So we get the value of x is equal to 100. Now, as part of the design, we know that design is comprised of, and this is the last part of our equation, which is the design is comprised of large plus small beads, and the relationship between large and small beads is 2x plus x. Design is equal to 3x. We know the value of x already, so we put that in the equation. 3 multiplied by 100, so total number of beads used for the design would be 300.